Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the second in our three complete Rachmaninoff sets. That is, the complete works of Sergei Rachmaninoff. Oh, yeah. There are three sets that are available. One is on Decca, which we've already talked about. One is on Brilliant Classics, which is the one we're considering today. And the other is on Melodia, which at this rate we may never consider, but we'll see. Anyway, let's just look at the complete works on Brilliant Classics. Now, there was a time when Brilliant Classics was simply a budget label. They licensed stuff, they had original stuff, it was very inexpensive. They were sort of a competitor for Naxos. Now they're rather different, it seems to me, because the Decca set is actually less expensive in many venues than the Brilliant Classics set, which I think is kind of striking and unusual. But things are so crazy today in terms of pricing, especially on Amazon. They don't stock things anymore. They just serve as this sort of clearinghouse for third-party sellers, and they can charge whatever they want. So you have no idea what anything is really supposed to cost unless you buy things from an actual, retailer. And then maybe you'll see, and you can check and compare prices. But this is not necessarily a better deal than the Decca set. And on the whole, as you will see, I think the Decca set is a little bit better. But let's see what's in here, because it's really going to depend on what you have in your collection and what you might want to supplement your collection, or if you have no collection yet. So I'm going to just pull them out. Now, this sucker has, 28 CDs and a CD-ROM, which one presumes has texts and things on it. And let's see, is there a booklet or something in here that's booklet-like? Yes, there is. There's a booklet in the back here. No, that's not a booklet. That's the CD-ROM. So I guess it doesn't need a booklet, or at least this one doesn't have one. So we're just going to go through the 28 discs and see who does what. If I can do it without, making an appalling mess, which is, as you know, is my tendency when I do these large sets of discs flopping all over the place. Okay, so we begin with the Piano Concerti and the Paganini Rhapsody, and we're beginning in a very strong place, because what we got is Earl Wild and Jascha Horenstein. These were on Chesky, now they're on Chandos. They're licensed officially, let's see what it says here, Reader's Digest they're licensed from, who I guess originally did it, but Chandos recorded it for them. And who actually owns these and what they are, I have not a clue. All I know is that Earl Wild is a great Rachmaninoff player, and Horenstein, who is a dreadful conductor under most circumstances, accompanies him extremely well, and the recording is drop-dead wonderful. And so this is a great Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto set. It's one of my most recommended ones in my talk on ideal Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto cycles, and it's a great way to start off the series. So, hurrah! Yes, absolutely, first rate. Now, what else have we got? Next, we get Symphonies. Here's Symphonies numbers 1 and 3. These feature Rozhdestvensky with the USSR Ministry of Culture Symphony Orchestra, and those are quite loud. And they're kind of screechily recorded, as usual, but they're good performances. I mean, there's no question about that. They're heavy-duty, dark, brooding, Russian-style performances. Number 2 is the LSO with Rozhdestvensky. I always liked this performance. I really, really did. I just want to make sure who this is licensed from. And yes, it's licensed from the LSO. This is the LSO one. Look at that. This is a slow, heavy Rachmaninoff too, with a 24-minute first movement with the exposition repeat. I like it. I mean, if you think that Rachmaninoff is actually sort of a Russian Bruckner in drag, you're going to love this. And then we have, the Youth Symphony, that single movement thing with the St. Louis Symphony and Slatkin, licensed from you-know-who, Vox, which is actually Naxos now. So that's that. Then we're going to have, I guess, a bunch of orchestral works. Yes, the symphonic dances and the bells. Now, this is with the Russian State Symphony Orchestra and the Russian State Symphony Capella under Valery Polyansky. I think Polyansky is a dreadful conductor. This stuff was on Chandos. It was the biggest mistake they ever made. I personally feel, promoting this guy. His choral music alone was not terrible. But when he had an orchestra, oh my goodness, all of his defects as an orchestral conductor came to the fore. Dull, flabby, lacking in accent and color and rhythm and shape and you name it. This is not good. It's just not. It's a pity. It's really a pity. Then we get the rock, Prince Rostislav, the Scherzo in D minor, the Caprice Bohemienne, and the Isle of the Dead. Again, all with Polyansky. Oh, what a pity. Not as bad as the other stuff, I think, but still, nothing special at all. And then we get, this is very funny. And let me see, then we get the operas. So first we have Aleko with the Donetsk Philharmonic under Roman Kaufman. And the singers are no one you've ever heard of. So we're not even going to go into it. It doesn't really make any difference. Is it a bad performance? No. Is it as good as the Yarvi Deutsche Grammophon performance? No. That's all you need to know. So there's Aleko, and then there's the other one, the Miserly Knight. Now this is with Polyansky again. And, he's not bad with voices. So it's not a bad performance. Again, I don't think it's as good as the Yarvi, but it's in here because you have to have it. And then finally, Mona Vana. Oh, this is the incomplete Mona Vana. It's very funny. There is only, I think, one version of Mona Vana because it was completed by Igor Bukatov, who recorded it with the Icelandic Symphony Orchestra, and it's in the Decca set, and it's here as well. I don't even know if they bothered to stick it in the Melodia set. I don't remember, but I'll go take a look. When we do that set, we'll have to remember Mona Vana. So if I'm doing the Melodia set, you don't hear Mona Vana, yell at me while I'm doing it. I'll see if I can remember. So here it is, the same one that's in the Decca set. It's an incomplete opera that nobody cares about. And when you hear it, you know why. And then we get Francesca Darrini. This is with the Sveshnikov Russian Academic Choir and the Bolshoi. The Bolshoi Theater Orchestra under Andrei, this is so hard to read, Andrei Chesnyakov. Yes, Chesnyakov. See, it's like this, it's dark. It looks better. I can see better that way. Andrei, Chesnyakov. It's easier when I hold it up to the light there because this is a very dark print on dark print. It's hard to see. And it's licensed from the National Music Company, which is, I think, the Narodnaya, whatever it is, Muzicheski something thing in Russia. It's a Russian thing. Okay. The Vespers. Who's doing the Vespers? This is. I can't even see his name. Yevhen. Anyway, his last name is Savchuk. It's with the National Academic Choir of Ukraine, Dumka. And I guess we all have an obligation to listen to it because it's a Ukrainian ensemble and a very good one. And we all pray that they're okay and will continue to make wonderful records for many, many years to come, even if it may not be Russian music for obvious reasons. And then we have, the Liturgy of St. John Chrysostom, which is with Valery Polyansky, and the Russian State Symphony Capella, which isn't bad. It's really not bad. Polyansky can conduct this stuff. Of course, there are a million Russian choirs and conductor people who did it better, but at least it's not awful, like his orchestral music usually is. And then there's some more choral music with the same folks. There's just endless quantities of that stuff. Then we've got the Cantata Spring, and look at that. This is with the Danish National Radio Symphony Orchestra and Choir under Kitayenko, who I also think is a rather dull conductor, but it's okay. And the 3 Russian songs. This is with Polyansky, and 6 choruses for women's voices and piano. This is with Polyansky. And finally, the Scherzo in F major and the Vocalese, orchestrated with the St. Louis Symphony and Leonard Slatkin, which is always good in Rachmaninoff. Tremendously reliable. We're already on CD 15. So we're just cruising, folks. Cruising. Hang in there. What do we got? Oh, songs. Tons and tons of songs. Now, this is by, this is with really, look at these singers. Wait a minute. Who's doing this? This is licensed from Chandos. This is the Chandos cycle of songs. It's with Joan Rogers and Maria Popescu and Alexander Naumenko, thank you, and Sergei Liferkus with Howard Shelley at the piano. And I think they're going to do all of them, yes. 15, 16, 17, and 17. Okay, 3 discs of songs. I don't think that's quite all of them. Usually the songs will go for 4 discs. I actually didn't look, but there's 32. Oh, it's a lot of songs, probably more than you'll ever want to listen to. And I'm sure the texts are in the CD-ROM attached, but we'll see. And then we have the trios with the Borden Trio. Oh, these are terrific. This is licensed from Chandos, and it's very, very good. It's another hot and heavy-duty Russian production with close recordings and throbbing vibrato in the strings. Oh, it's marvelous. So you've got the 2 trios, and then we've got, let's see. Oh, now we're coming up with piano music. And the Cello Sonata. Okay, the Cello Sonata is with Daniil Shafran and Yakov Fleer, which is quite good. And it's really very good. And it's from a Gostal Radio Fund. Okay, but it's a good performance. This is music for cello and piano, basically. And that's very nice. And then we have piano music. Okay. All righty. The Etude Tableau. This is with Nikolai Lugansky. They're very, very good performances. They were licensed from Challenge Classics. This is a good set. Lugansky is a very, very fine pianist. His Rachmaninoff is lovely, and I have no problem with those. So that's good. Next, we get the preludes, or some of the preludes, and the Corelli variations, and the nocturnes. Oh, yes, I remember. This is all the stuff with Santiago Rodriguez. And, he was Elan Records, which was run by his wife, Mrs. Santiago Rodriguez. And I liked his Rachmaninoff. It was echt romantic, shall we say, sort of hot and heavy romantic stuff. And here he is doing the sonatas and more of the preludes. And let's see, Piano Sonata number 2 in the revised version. And let's see, Piano Sonata number 1. Boy, it's tracked a million different ways, this Piano Sonata. Each section or tempo change has its own track. And the Chopin variations. And is he doing the rest of this stuff? No. The Moment Musical Opus 16 is with Alexander Gindin, another fine pianist. And the Morceau de Salon Opus 10 is with Michael Ponti, which is fine. And so that's fine. And then we've got, Transcriptions. And the suite from the Partita in E major for violin solo by J.S. Bach. Oh, these are all transcriptions of things. And it's Garrick Olson. I mean, this is fine. These are people who know what they're doing. And what is this thing here? From Russia to America. Miscellany. Miscellaneous Strange Works, of transcriptions of things. Played by Nils Franke. Do you need to know more? I don't. Where are the works for piano duet? Okay, here we go. I was wondering where those were. The Fantasy Tableau for 2 pianos, which is suite number 1. And the piano duet in this case is, Thorson and Thurber. So what could be bad? Thorson and Thurber are wonderful, and we love them. And they're also doing the second suite in the symphonic dances and the prelude in C-sharp minor arranged for 2 pianos, where it sounds just like the one for 1 piano, only more so. It's like heavier and louder, which is incredibly exciting. And finally, we get the CD-ROM. And the CD-ROM has an essay called The Lonely Romantic. This CD-ROM contains an electronic booklet in PDF format, which can be accessed from any computer. And that's about all it tells you. Probably doesn't have text and translations. I didn't look, I'm sorry. I just never pay attention to these things. And I probably should, because I have to talk to you about them, but it just doesn't interest me to see whether it has that stuff or not, because you can usually find it anyway, in other places. And it should, as a matter of course, but, what can I tell you? So, Where does that lead us? Well, this is not as complete as ultimately complete. With every little smidge that the guy wrote as the Decca thing, and it doesn't have any duplication of works like the Decca set did, but it's very respectable. I mean, other than the Polyansky stuff, really, there aren't any bad performances in here. It was sensitively put together and intelligently licensed, and it's very, very respectable. So, the question then becomes, which one should you get? I still stand by my recommendation of the Decca on the whole. It has its duds, it has a few, but basically you're best off with that, generally speaking. But it's hard to deny the fact that this has excellent material in it. And so it's really going to come down to a question of cost and how much you love Rachmaninoff and what else you have in your collection of Rachmaninoff. And that's obviously your call. All I can do is tell you what's in it, tell you that it's a good deal, and it's nice to see that Rachmaninoff's getting the attention because he's a wonderful composer. And so there you go. Keep on listening, folks. Get your Rachmaninoff however it pleases you. Take care.